portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
A businessman is staging a protest on Paradise Island, saying it's all about saving the environment.
LTV's Munnings caught up with him and tonight has his story.
Businessman Hugo Knowles didn't need any convincing to stage a one-man protest late Tuesday night after witnessing a bulldozer reportedly destroying rock on the eastern end of Paradise Island to reportedly complete construction on a luxury beachfront home.
Just because some rich person want to come and be in a fancy home, that's fine with me. I love tourists. We need the money and all that sort of stuff. But you got to do stuff properly, okay? If he needed, I would have lent him the $400 to put down plywood so he could drive his tractor up over there and keep the serenity of this. I mean, look at this. Where else in the world do you find this? If I didn't move 6 inches away from the front of his tire, I would be dead right now.
Knowles, the owner of Rollaway Shutters, chained himself to the rock and vowed not to move, although he's able to break free if needed. The environmental protester had water and a small cooler with food when we spoke with him Wednesday evening. And that was the time when he ended the first day of his protest.
What are you doing to secure yourself?
Well, this here is going to be locked around this foot or this foot, and then this part is going to be locked down into the clamp what's down there on the rock. But the high water mark is Bahamian territory. If they had permits, the proper required permits, they would have ensured that that rock was not ruined.
Well, with the rain about to pour, Knowles, after answering questions from Paradise Island security, was persuaded to leave the area moments after our interview. He traveled with us on the security's boat to another location. He then informed us that he felt his work was done, and when we called Mr. Knowles Thursday, he confirmed that his protest was over, although he will still fight to preserve our environment. LTV's Munnings, ZNS Network News.
Well, we've since received confirmation that the project is a dune replenishment and beach restoration project that received approval from the BEST Commission. Well, 17 Defense Force officers have now moved up in the ranks in the country's military arm. The officers were commissioned in a special ceremony at Government House today, which now gives them the authority to exercise command on the Defense Force. It's considered one of the greatest honors for an officer, and 4 of those honored today were singled out for their own accomplishments, like Lieutenant Commander Gabe Bukowski, who is noted as the first senior female officer in the Royal Bahamas Defense Force history. Lieutenant Commander Andrew Farrington is the first midshipman and first to attend the Britannia Royal Naval College. Lieutenant Marsha Criswell is the first female military pilot in the region's history, and Sub-Lieutenant Elizabeth Sims is the first female officer to be trained at the United States Coast Guard Academy Officer Candidate School. Governor General His Excellency Sir Arthur Folkes says the newly commissioned officers are not only expected to defend the territory, but also to make a substantial difference within their communities.
This is a great responsibility, and you are being empowered today to ensure that this nation's security, peace, and prosperity are protected and preserved. Commodore Bowe, I commend you and your executive team for your strategic vision and leadership in building upon the accomplishments of former Defense Force leaders such as Commodores Leon Smith, Davy Roll, and Clifford Scavella in the continued development of young officers.
Is there a link between high school dropouts and the use of tobacco substances?
Well, a group of concerned citizens believe that smoking among young people has contributed to that, and that's why they've implemented a program targeting those at risk.
Now, Cyan Thompson tells us that the group is calling for a ban of a tiny cigarette, which they feel is wreaking havoc among the youth.
The pastors are working to bring about tangible changes that will also impact the society as a whole. Heading the group is Pastor Dale Moss, who revealed that the group is conducting a research paper calling for a national ban of an easy access and cheap cigarette called beedies. This is an Indian cigarette with tobacco and other unknown ingredients. Pastor Moss believes beedies are causing a lot of suffering among young people. He says his team has seen an increase in primary school students smoking this harmful cigarette.
As young as primary age school kids are using that
particular substance. And so it is quite common and popular for kids to buy BDs because it's very inexpensive. And I think we as a nation have to address that more formally. Presently, our research team is preparing a paper to present to government as it relates to a ban on these substances.
The Student Refocusing Suspension Program has an 80% success rate, with some 500 students participating in the programs, coached and mentored by pastors, teachers, police officers, and counselors. Violence and fighting are highest among the issues showing up among students.
Like substance abuse, a great deal of our kids are involved in violence and various gang activities, simple violation of disruption in the classroom. We are seeing an increase in females joining gangs that we are witnessing at this present time.
Organizers and volunteers are happy to be part of the solution to help young students stay in school and improve their education. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Nicole Campbell, says they will continue to help strengthen the program.
That we want to find a better way, a new and creative way to stop the dropouts. The dropout rate in our school. We are saying in this Northeastern Pastor Alliance that our young people are important to us, and we are going to do everything in our power to save them.
The Student Refocusing Suspension Program will return at the start of the new school year. For the ZNS Network News, I'm Cyan Thompson.
Well, coming up in Family Island News, we take a look at local government in the Exuma Keys.
And in sports, the police crime stoppers tried to cuff the Royals. We've got the highlights coming up.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
This is your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain. Prime Minister Perry Christie and other government officials are expected to address hundreds of hotel investors representing some of the world's most popular brands this week. They're expected to attend the 17th Annual National Association of Black Hotel Owners, Operators and Developers Summit in Miami. The theme for the four-day conference that kicked off Wednesday is Networking, Connect for a Lifetime. The event is expected to draw African-American hotel owners, top hospitality officials, and government delegates from throughout the region. The Bahamas Telecommunications Company is spending more than $2 million to complete its transport network to support the closed-circuit television network for the police force. So far, surveillance cameras are positioned in select public spaces such as Bay Street and in other high-traffic areas. BTC's Senior Vice President of Technical Services, Antonio Stubbs, says more than 200 cameras have been installed. And the vice president in charge of BlackBerry's Playbook tablet has resigned. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that VP David J. Smith was at the company for 8 years and took over the Playbook project shortly after its release in 2011. The Playbook was viewed as the first professional tablet, but setbacks kept it off the market until a full year after the iPad's 2010 release. It was also missing key elements such as email and calendaring features. Now, following a $500 million write-down and a delayed software update, the company's CEO shelved the tablet last month, saying it would not be updated to the BlackBerry 10 operating system. The CEO also believes that tablets won't be around very long. That was your Royal Fidelity Business News. I'm Jimenita Swain.